Hello, welcome to Knitwear Diaries. My name is Kyla May, and today we are going to go over my yarn stash going into 2026. Before 2025, when I was knitting last year, I was definitely buying yarn as I finished a project and didn't have much of a stash around me, and now I do have quite a stash, which has been stressing me out because now I feel like I don't have enough time. And I want to say, first and foremost, this stash is definitely not comparable to other knitters and crocheters stashes that they have at home. This is just overwhelming for me because I typically only like to have like 1 or 2 projects like stashed ahead of time, and I have certainly more than that. In this video, I'll display the yarn, kind of go over how much of a quantity I have of the yarn and what my intentions for the yarn will be. It is definitely a very, very loose guideline. I don't like holding myself to something that hard because then I will procrastinate and freak out and not do it, or I'll get super anxious. So first things first, I am currently wearing my Chester sweater. It is an all-over Enchilak knit sweater, knit completely in the round. A lot of times you'll see that Enchilak knit garments, they're like knit either like bottom up or in panels, and I am a lazy girl, so I created a pattern to have it completely in the round. I have a whole YouTube video tutorial on how to go over each steps, which will have the links to the pattern in the description of that video, so check it out. I love this sweater. First in my yarn stash is this are these biscotti yarns, DK Pure in the color Smoothie, and Biscotti Yarns is a hand-dyed yarn company. I bought this specifically in Montreal. They're known as a Canadian yarn company, but I know they have a storefront in New Jersey, but I do also know that they're closing the storefront and only doing online orders out of that location. I'm holding it with their mohair, which their mohair line is called Hermione. This color is actually just a generic color that the Montreal location I went to dyed a batch there themselves, so you won't be able to get this exact color. I learned that pretty quickly, and so hopefully I won't need any more of this for my sweater. With this yarn, I am knitting the Sweetest Heart sweater by Rita Dowd. It's an all-over cable knit sweater. This is the back panel. I just did the, what is this? This is the right shoulder, and now I am in the middle of working on the left shoulder, but it is absolutely gorgeous and held together. It is like the perfect color for me. This has been taking me a very long time, but this is also my first cable knit pattern that I'm doing. I've done cables in the past, but it's just been like self-drafted stuff, and so I've been loving following the pattern. And Rita, she is an amazing designer, and this was her very first ever released pattern. Isn't that insane? It is super beautiful. I'll do photos up here. I'm also doing a project vlog on this where I kind of go into detail. Right now I'm kind of in a limbo with my project vlog because I literally only knit at night after work and I sit on the couch. So a lot of my clips right now, most of my clips I guess, are just me sitting in the same spot, sometimes wearing like the same sweater or like the same shirt because I work from home. So it's been kind of boring, and I've been trying to figure out ways to like spice it up. The next in my stash is a, ooh, sorry. My hair and the cat's hair is getting all over this. Knitting for Olive Merino in the color Pea Shoots, and I will be holding it together with this Tin Silk Mohair by Sandnes Garn. This is in the color Matcha, which is a petite knit colorway. If you've seen the sample photos of the Petite Knits Amy sweater, that is the color that I'm holding right here in the mohair. And so I'll be holding this together, and I will be knitting the Maggie cardigan with long sleeves. In my video that I had made last year, I talked about this sweater that this cardigan that Sandra Bullock wears in While You're Sleeping, and she has it in a blue. And I originally was just going to hold the mohair double and knit the novice cardigan by Petite Knit mohair edition. I was kind of hating that. I actually started it, was hating holding mohair double. I can hold mohair with other things just like this, but just this plus another mohair, I can't do that ever again. And it was also just not the same shape slash structure of the cardigan that Sandra Bullock was wearing. And so someone that I'm following on TikTok was also knitting the Maggie cardigan, and I was like, wait, I actually love how that fits, and that's closer to what was in the movie. And so that is what I will be doing with this. I'm very excited. This will be my first time using Knitting for Olive, and I purchased this with some other Knitting for Olive yarn during the Kaza fundraiser, and so like I just couldn't not purchase this. You know what I mean? It was just like the perfect excuse to do it. Next on my list is this worsted weight yarn that I also got in Montreal, called Le Pastel Club in the color Grease. I actually don't know. No, I do know how many I bought. I bought like 3 or 4. Which wouldn't be enough for a sweater, but it will be enough for a vest. And my friend Maisha on TikTok, also known as Mai Designs, she will eventually be making a sample for an Opposites Attract sweater. So I don't have a photo of it right now, but she did release the Opposites Attract ear warmer, and she made like a little mini sample of like the Opposite Attracts vest, and I was like, that's actually perfect. And so I am going to be saving this yarn for that test knit if I get accepted. I mean, if I don't, it's fine, I'll just purchase the pattern. This is a worsted weight, colored number 13. This is also a 100% Canadian wool, I believe. I don't know. This is in French, so I can't really like understand it. So I will be holding this aside for that test knit. Hopefully I get accepted in the future. And I don't even know if like this will be something where she'll like put into testing this year. I know she's super busy with grad school and like as well as an internship. So like this might be a 2027 thing. It's fine, I don't really care. I just know that I want to knit that vest, and that vest will exist in my closet. The next thing that I bought, this was also, surprise, a Montreal purchase at La Babineuse. I don't know how to say that. Here's some words that are in French that probably explain. There we go. So this is a sock yarn, and there are 404 meters of this sock yarn, and I love the colors. So it is 80% merino, 20% nylon, and so I will either be knitting socks for myself or mittens, maybe. I kind of really want mittens. I wish this would work in the Kitten Catch mittens, I believe it's called, by Florence Miller, but I kind of realized like, no, I want those mittens to just be 2 colors, so that it'll definitely not work. Maybe this will turn into a muscle bra. Duct tape! Sorry, my cat Duct Tape is in the bathroom and acting like she can't escape. What's up? Okay, anyways. So the next thing that I have is Knitting for Olive Merino in the color Claret, which is like this beautiful wine red color. And I think it's my color. I have about 7 skeins, 7 balls. I don't know what I will make with it. I originally wanted to make a ribbed tee with like a little ruffly detail like around the neck and around the sleeves, and then I found a pattern on like someone like made like a 2026 wardrobe like compilation of the Campanula tee, right, which is exactly what I was going to do, but I was going to self-draft it, and then I saw that I'm like, oh, I'm not going to draft it. But I was looking at the sizing on Ravelry today before making this video, and like it won't even like fit me in my 46-inch bust circumference. Well, I mean, technically it will with like the negative ease, but like the fact that like I personally think my size, my size for knitting garments should be like mid-range. I'm not going to knit the Campanula tee because it is not size inclusive, and I don't know much about the designer. I don't know if this was like one of her first patterns or something, but I've released my own pattern and the largest bust circumference goes to 73 inches. So I think it's very doable. So I will not be doing that, and I might have to go back to my my self-drafted route, which sucks. But also, I don't even know if I have enough. I don't think. So like the Campanula tee, that's like a sport weight, which I'm like smart because I don't want to make a fingering weight shirt. But I don't know. Oh, there's my cat duct tape. Say hi, duct tape. Well, anyways, there's so many designers, whether big or small, that are size inclusive, so it's really not hard to be size inclusive. Like, come on guys, let's just do it. It's literally like the same math. You know what I mean? Anyways, no tea, no shade. The next thing I have is this Kelbourne Woolens Germantown DK in the color cream and peacock, and I love this peacock color. And I wasn't so sure about how I was feeling about the cream color because it was coming off as like pinky, like a pretty like I don't know, it just like looked very pink at night. And so I'm glad I'm looking at this in the daylight. Granted, it's the winter daylight, because now it does look better. So I have a sweater's quantity worth of this, a sweater's quantity of the peacock color, and then like 3 skeins, which is like more than enough honestly to do something else, but 3 skeins of this cream color. And I am going to be knitting a duck themed sweater. It is going to be self-drafted. I've already made swatches, and I've also like already kind of like drew out my design that I'm going to do, and so I'm super excited for it. And it's so cute, and I did the charts because it'll be like color work, but not too much color work. By the way, this is like the softest 100% North American wool like I've ever felt. So Kelbourne Woolens, they are located in Philadelphia, and so they're an all-around all-American brand. They're very ethical. I've used a number of their yarns, so I've swatched this, and then I also used their cotton yarn, which I believe it's called Skipper, and I made a Musselburgh hat for my vegan friend. And this is genuinely the softest like wool like ever. It's not too scratchy, and it's 100% wool. Like, if you think that Pure Gint is a scratchy yarn, I will put a link down below for Kelbourne Woolens. It is a referral link, and so I do get commission off of it. But if it's your first time going and purchasing Kelbourne Woolens, I believe you get a discount. Just so you know, if you want to support me and support a lovely small business, this is like the best yarn ever. The next thing I got, surprise, surprise, Knitting for Olive. So I got the Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino as well as the Soft Silk Mohair in the color Oatmeal. And I have a sweater's quantity worth this, like 1,700 yards, right? And I was originally going to use it to knit the Moby sweater by Petite Knit, but then I'm like essentially, you know, knitting a better, cooler version of the Moby sweater. Like, and I didn't want to have very similar garments, so I purchased Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino in the color Cognac, but also in the color Cognac of their Soft Silk Mohair. And I will be self-drafting a drop shoulder gingham. A gingham drop shoulder sweater in these two colors. And so, oh gosh, I really love it. I wasn't loving the Oatmeal by itself, if I'm being honest, because it's super gray, but in a way that I think kind of like washes me out. But like with this, I love it. Can you tell I love brown and a neutral color? So that's also one of my like design ideas that I'm going to be doing. It's super basic, super simple, but I just really love gingham. I just really love gingham and I want it in a neutral color. And so that is what I will be utilizing these yarns for, which I'm super happy because like I said, I wasn't too fond about just using this color. Like I felt like that would just be boring and wash me out, but with like I think these colors are pristine. And because the brown, did I tell you that this is the color Cognac? I don't know. Because this brown is so warm, I feel like it brings out warmth in the Oatmeal color. But also now I know I'm not going to order Oatmeal again if I want a neutral from Knitting for Olive. But I'm super excited to use both of these because like I said, I've never used Knitting for Olive before, and so when the Gaza fundraiser was happening, I was like, I actually have to do it. Oh, I have 2 more yarns. Okay, sorry, I totally forgot that I bought yarn over Christmas. And they actually come from the same place, so I'm gonna talk about them kind of like all in one. I purchased 2 I actually don't even know how to pronounce this. So if you are in the Kansas City area, a brand new small yarn shop in Olathe just opened up called Lucky Rooster Yarns LLC. Peep the sticker. The owner, Kathleen, just received their MBA, and so she was doing a little sale, which is crazy because they literally opened a few months ago. They opened in October of 2025. So I purchased this sock yarn. Oh my gosh, it's superwash. Sock yarns typically are around 300 yards for a pair of socks, from like small to large. That's if you have 300 yards, you're pretty safe. But the Musselburgh hat, at least for like the adult medium, you need like 400 or like 450 yards for the most part, which is crazy. So I bought 2 just in case. And you know, I might just end up having 2 Musselburgh hats, and that's okay. Or I'll have a Musselburgh hat and socks that match, but no one would be able to see that I'm matching and coordinating, but that's okay. Another thing that I bought from Lucky Rooster Yarns is this Juniper Moon Farm Yarns Patagonia, which this is their organic merino. I got this in the color Harmonia, and it's this beautiful, beautiful, like almost like berryish pink. It is gorgeous, and I think I will love this. I bought a whole sweaters quantity. I think I bought about 1,700 yards. This is a little light. Like, I wouldn't consider it a DK. I'd consider it more of a sport weight. It says it's a number 3 weighted yarn. which sometimes DK weight is considered 3, I think. But this is definitely, it runs more so sport weight than it does DK weight. I knit my very first Jester sweater sample in Juniper Moon Farm yarns, the bulky version of my Jester sweater, and like I absolutely love this yarn. I love this yarn, and so when she was selling this, when I first walked into her yarn shop, I was like, no, I actually have to go and I have to get it, and I'm going to live here. So I'm very excited about this. I'm not sure what I want to do with this. And I have a feeling, so I know obviously I'm going to knit a sweater because I bought that much yarn, but I don't know if I want to like do color work and like buy a couple more hanks of another color to hold with this and do like a Lume pullover or like the porcelain sweater, or if I just want a plain pink sweater. Another thing that this would be good for is another Maggie cardigan, and then I wouldn't have to buy another pattern, but that just depends on if I liked the Maggie cardigan the first time I make it, and we will see if that happens. If you have an amazing idea for a sweater in this yarn and you have pattern suggestions, please let me know. I would definitely love to hear what I would love to hear what you have to say. What time is it? A few other things that I wanted to talk about that is not here physically with me is I pre-ordered yarn for my husband. I don't know if he's hearing this, but I pre-ordered yarn for my husband, and it's Lang Cloud, but it's like one of the fishy colors. Let me see. I pre-ordered this from the Violent Cat Lady. Jade, love you, love following you, love your content. Lang Cloud tweed in the color 4, which looks like a trout. And my husband's family, they have a house along a river in Arkansas that has like a lot of trout, and so I'm going to be knitting him a sweater with the Lang Cloud tweed, and it's going to be beautiful. Do I know what sweater it's going to be yet? No, but all I do know is I'm obsessed with drop shoulder, so it's probably going to be a drop shoulder sweater. I bought 7 balls, so I hope that's enough. I know that the balls are really huge, like the balls of the Lang Cloud tweed is enough, or like is a lot, but I also don't really know. My husband's bust circumference is 46 as well, so we'll see where that goes. Another thing that I have in the works is my friend does a lot of ceramics. Wait, let me see if she made this one. I think she made this one. Her husband also does ceramics, but so my dearest friend Annie is going to be making me buttons to go with my Maggie cardigan in a green color, obviously, and she like did a little test run, and I'm super excited for it. And I told her like she can like do it like at some point in the spring, because there's no way I'm going to finish what I'm doing now plus the Maggie cardigan by then, because my timeline of things right now is I gotta finish my Sweetest Heart sweater, then I want to either do my Gingham sweater that I'm going to be drafting up, or my duck sweater that's going to be knit in the Kelbourne Woolens. I might do the Kelbourne Woolens one because I have asked to become an affiliate, and so now I need to start pulling my weight. So sorry about this glare in my glasses. I am actually sitting in a well lighted area for once, and I'm using natural light, so we'll have to see where this goes, because I think I'm not going to finish this until February. and I want this for Valentine's Day. So I need to pick up my slack a little bit, but I'm also starting the first panel, and it's an oversized sweater, and I'm short. So I actually think I'll be fine. And then I'll knit, you know, I'll probably knit my duck sweater next, because it's not like all over color work, so it'll just be easier to get through. Now that I'm knitting a fully cable knit sweater, I have learned that I actually really love stockinette. Stockinette is great. I love to watch TV and knit, and I hate having to look down significantly more at my work while I am watching TV and knitting. So it might be the duck sweater up next. But I also learned that I actually like color work more than cables, because color work is still stockinette. Usually a lot of motifs are very memorable. Unfortunately, not my duck sweater. But it's okay, because it's only gonna be like a little section. Yeah, it's gonna be so cute. I worked really hard on the chart for it, and like, I mean, my husband knows. I've been like really she's falling asleep. But I've been really like nitpicky with the chart for my duck sweater, so yeah. Ooh, another thing, and it's because I failed this past year. I'm not gonna do gift knits for no one, actually, except for my husband. I don't count knitting for my husband as a gift knit, because I just love knitting for him, and also I get to wear it. And also he's not picky. So yeah, I will not be doing any gift knits this year. I did one gift knit this year, okay, which I talked about with the Kelbourne Woolens skipper. I knit the Musselburgh hat, but that's because my friend's making me buttons. This friend is making me buttons, so that doesn't count as gift knit. That was called trade and bartering, I guess. Which, you know, I think we need to start utilizing our communities more, and I think people need to start getting skilled in a bunch of random things that are super helpful. I think for me and my husband personally, we need to befriend a physician. We need to befriend a lawyer and a dentist, maybe a physical therapist. And if they're in our friend group, that'd be awesome. So then we can, you know, ask questions. I also just, I have OCD, and so maybe this is just me wishing I had people I could, you know, spew all of my anxieties to, and then like them either tell me that I'm dying or that I'm okay and I should probably just take my anxiety meds. Yeah. Anyways, I've been rambling on a lot. I hope you have a happy new year. I am wishing everyone a fabulous 2026. It's going to be amazing. I'm planning on not buying more yarn, except for the Kitten Catch mittens by Florence Miller. Other than that, no more yarn, because I have yarn on the way. I have all of this, and they're all sweater quantities, so it's a lot. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it is a lot. I technically have leftover yarns from like past sweaters, but I use those more. It got really bright. My cat? Wait, is that my cat? No, it's not. There's my cat. I thought these two dots were my cat. I'm like, she's evil. Like and subscribe. I pretty chill out here. Yeah. Comment. If you are in the middle of knitting my Jester sweater, super cool, send me photos. Send me photos. I will be having a Discord just for, you know, the knitting yarn fiber art community. If you'd like to join eventually, it might be mentioned in my next video. Essentially what the Discord is, it's all of my test knitters, but we all like each other. And so now we're turning the test knit chat after the test knit's over into my into our now knitting group chat community. So thank you, and I hope to speak to you soon. Let me know what you have in your yarn stash and what you're planning on doing with it, and I hope to see you soon. Beautiful, really.